I feel like I'm kind of camping Rev at this point, but he's just really good. This one's about the Asmongold situation. Asmongold just humiliated Hasan. You know I'm clicking on that.
So we all know that Hasan Piker's been going off the deep end for quite some time now, and we also know his obsession with Asmongold. He pretty much waits on every word this guy has to say, and recently Asmongold has been on a hiatus, focusing on his father's health, and despite leaving, it appears that Hasan can't stop thinking about him. In fact, the delusions have...
Yeah, it's been very sad for me, guys, because Asmongold's like usually my go-to when like I want to watch something, and he's gone. So my life feels so empty, you know. Now I gotta watch what? Charlie Kirk?
continue to get stronger. His separation anxiety from Asmongold has gotten to the point where he can't stop talking about him, even in his absence. In fact, I think he's going off the deep end. He has put more people at risk. He has openly violated more major rules on Twitch with no punishment. And this time, he has put more people's lives in actual danger. So let's begin with the Asmongold portion of today's video. If you've been paying attention to what he's been doing, he's been basically MIA the last week or so, and he has now really confirmed what's going on. He made this tweet very shortly before recording this video today, talking about the reason. Everyone kind of already knew it was about his dad's health and how it's been declining. And this is a long post. I'll just sum it up. Basically, things are pretty serious, and he thinks he needs to dedicate his full attention to the situation, and he's going to have to take a hiatus for however long it takes.
You know, like whatever people want to say about Asmond, he's being a good son right now. Is that actually like taking time off of like his, you know, his obviously valuable like schedule? His time is obviously very valuable, and he's spending it with family like when it needs to be. So it's like, you know, big ups to
until
Asmond.
He can try to get things together and figure out what's going on. And yeah, I'm sure a lot of people are praying for the dude and his dad. It's a very sad situation, but unfortunately for another person out there, it probably will only intensify his separation anxiety. And some of the clips he's made over the past couple of days are quite unhinged, where he has developed new terminology like the Asmongold phenomena.
This is something that I tried to explain to people in the past, where I was like, look, liberals, you did it. You did it. You tried to explain to people in the past where I was like, look, liberals, you did it. You did it. You successfully undermined your left flank. And in the process of doing that, of course, someone right-wing was going to rise up to the occasion and come across as a completely normal centrist, right? That's the Asmongold phenomena.
Wait. But Asmongold is left of center. What?
The most consequential aspect of like the destinies of the world consistently coming after me for their own personal narcissistic vengeance quest has made it so that I have so many ridiculous claims that are completely made up about me swirling around in the ecosystem for all of the dumb political people to tune into, with a network of slop tubers that are constantly pumping out this kind of content.
Me. Slop tuber.
That ultimately people that don't actually get any sort of critical examination of their commentary or their worldview get to rise up to the top.
Yeah. Oh, dude, it's so true. It's so true. Like, no critical commentary. I need to like walk away and show my chair more, dude. I gotta be even more critical. You know, what do you guys think? I gotta let my chair do some critical commentary, I think. It's just not enough, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that is a degree of obsession that is quite insane, where you're quite literally coming up with terminology for your enemy, your rival, and their absence has driven you so insane that you've come up with Asmongold phenomena to explain basically why the entire world doesn't agree with you on everything, and the fact that people might actually like someone like Asmongold. But also he's making these great stretches trying to drag in Nick Fuentes, and we'll talk about that in the next clip. But also you can see this language where he's going after liberals and leftists, and we all know Hasan is on the left, but he also tries to tear down all of those around him. Basically anyone who's like one step to the right of Mao Zedong is not left enough for him. And he's basically the permanent contrarian, and he's working to basically cause division amongst his own potential allies, which is a very funny thing, but he's trying to basically blame all of this on other parties.
Guys, I need to get off of my ass and write the Hasan song. You know the what was it? It was liberal mind and a MAGA body. I need to write that song. It's been too long that I haven't.
He's including Asmongold, who he's still thinking about in a different stream, and also again making some insane connections to what he believes is Asmongold's rhetoric and related responsibilities when it comes to the things he has said in his videos and streams.
When liberals are more predisposed with attacking their left flank for demonstrating true anti-fascist principles, then of course someone who presents themselves as a centrist like Asmongold is going to rise to the occasion and actually unironically build a momentum and an audience off of said liberals who now tune into him to think, well, he's at least better than Hasan. He's not dangerous radical like Hasan is.
True.
Meanwhile, Asmongold is also a pipeline to Nick Fuentes.
Again, there's more language about the leftists and the liberals he doesn't like, where he's saying that their hatred of Hasan has made Asmongold more palatable, and they look at...
This is like the classic, like Hitler drank water, so you drink water too, don't you? Suspicious. It's like that, basically.
Say, hey, at least he's not a terrorist sympathizer, which honestly, this is the...
For some reason, it just seems like it's hard for a lot of people to come to the realization that somebody that you don't like, that has like, you know, rhetoric that you don't like, could say something that you just agree with. That like, basically, if a person is like you don't like what they say, everything that they say is wrong, right? And then and the thing is, when you have that kind of mentality and you deny the things that they say that are like factually correct, and you say like, oh, it's wrong because it's that person, you make yourself look like a retard to everybody. Yeah.
The first truthful thing Hasan has observed in quite some time. He is actually kind of getting the point here. Even people who are in the center or the left, they see Asmongold and they go, well, at least he's not Hasan. I think that's real. I think some people who have consumed Hasan, or at least known about him, were introduced to Asmongold through Hasan's constant complaining about him, and they thought, well, he's more palatable than Hasan, and now they go to him. I guarantee that is a real thing going on, but also we see something pretty amazing here. Not even Stretch Armstrong could achieve a reach like this, where he's trying to say Asmongold is the pipeline to Nick Fuentes. But he also continues on saying, again, it's all the liberals and the leftists attacking their own flank because they can't go after anti-fascist principles the way they're supposed to, and instead they go after Hasan, who they think is dangerous. And I can't imagine why they would think some of the things he's saying expresses dangerous rhetoric. But yeah, you can see he's definitely crashing out over Asmongold, even in Asmongold's absence. But hey, what's new? So let's move on to another.
The problem. This is the problem with like these fucking crackhead, like super extreme, like liberal people, is that they say a bunch of stuff that's like absolutely retarded, and everybody knows that it's retarded. And what happens is you have somebody who's kind of radical on the other side, like I don't know, like you could even just like go so far as to say, like, say the KKK, right? And then they will say like, okay, well, everything he didn't say plus racism. And the thing is like, the thing that the other people are saying is so crazy that you're like, okay, well, this guy's more reasonable. And that's kind of what happens. Right, and it kind of gives them more power in the space.
Very disturbing story coming out of Twitch involving Hasan. We all know the favoritism when it comes to Dan Clancy and the Twitch staff. They basically have made it very clear he can do whatever he wants, right? Everyone knows this. It's not even a joke anymore. Why would Hasan even consider the consequences of his actions on Twitch at this point? He knows he's going to get away with it. And once again, we've seen a major TOS violation that has been completely ignored by Twitch staff, and one that has actually put people's lives in danger thanks to Hasan. This is the clip a lot of people are talking about right now, where Hasan shows posts containing the personal information of several different people, including people he has beef with.
Yeah. Dylan Burns, Hunter Avalon, Hutch,
Wow.
Destiny's own personal chef. Like, this is what happened. This is what took place. Okay. And the pack actually did unironically raise a bunch of money off of like people who thought.
Well, what's the reason for that? Why do this other than to scare them, than to expose them to dangerous radicals? There's no reason for this. There's no public there's no public benefit for having this information.
Thought that they were giving money to a political action committee that was going to go around and
These people are crazy.
Campus operations, which they did.
So yeah, that is Hasan Piker live on Twitch in front of 30,000 viewers, sharing the personal information of several different people, including those he has had personal beef with, that his audience has a very, very bad view of. That is super, super dangerous.
Well,
And
explain it to me. What other reason? You know what I mean? What other reason would you post this information publicly? What public interest is it? There's none. It's all ill intent, obviously.
did this so casually, and the VOD is still public. This is something we'll talk about in terms of legality and also how it clearly violates Twitch TOS. But just as a general principle, putting all that other stuff aside, this is the scummiest and most dangerous thing you can pretty much do, just as a content creator, but especially as someone as big as Hasan. He showed 30,000 people, and continues to show with his VOD still being up, the personal information of people his rabid and radicalized audience already doesn't like. This is way beyond beef and disagreements. This is putting people in danger in real life. And there's no way he was doing this without knowing the potential consequences, or at the very least was so reckless he should be responsible for what he did. And let's look at some of the people involved and make it very clear how dangerous this is. One of the people mentioned, Hunter Avalon, is someone who less than 2 years ago was attacked in real life with a shotgun. And now his personal information has been brought back in thanks to Hasan. It's absolutely ridiculous. Then there was another part of this where he was trying to gaslight his audience, as he does, where he's talking about another person who was mentioned with their personal information called Dylan Burns. And he tries to say he has no idea who this person was, despite showing their personal information live in front of 30,000 viewers and directly naming them.
Well, the problem is he knows he's going to get away with it. Right? He knows he's like immune to any of this shit. So it's like, he doesn't care. Everybody else has to be held to a higher standard. Because especially if you're like, you're going against the grain, you're going against like hyper leftist stuff, hyper like woke stuff. You know that they're just looking for a reason to fucking get you. Right? It's so drastically different how they treat people. It's crazy.
As he did it, which we just saw 2 seconds ago, the people like Dylan Burns who were mentioned by this, they have been mentioned by Hasan in the past. I think Hasan at this point has made so many enemies, he's lost track. Maybe he actually did forget who this guy was. But of course, when you've been mentioned by Hasan negatively in front of his audience, you tend to not forget. And of course, Dylan Burns would say, Hasan referenced me by name during his stream and accused me of being a war tourist before. Don't know why he's pretending not to know my name. He showed my 9-digit zip code, not 5-digit, on stream, which showed the street I live on. Full document has my entire home address. And then Ethan Klein would weigh in on this as well, saying Hasan 100% knows who Dylan Burns is. He called him a war pervert
so much
for actually going to Ukraine to report from the front line. Didn't just think about it. Wow, that's a concept that probably blows the mind of Hasan. That's maybe why he's so mad. But Ethan continues saying he hates him because he's pro-Ukraine and criticized Hasan's awful coverage of that war, so Hasan doxed him. He let a bad empanada video play that displayed Dylan's and others' personal information, then walks off screen, so he has plausible deniability. But of course, Hasan has a response to this controversy and the criticism he is receiving. And he is saying that this is a nothing burger and that this is a stupid deplatforming initiative and that this was not something that broke Twitch TOS or the law.
Just uses an opportunity to try to once again implement this like fake deplatforming, stupid deplatforming initiative, claiming that I was
Firecat says, thanks, I enjoy the YouTube vids. Thank you so much. Thank you, Fire. Thank you.
actually doxing people. Looking at FEC filings, myself included, for because I have looked at my own FEC filings as well on this broadcast, which is publicly available data that actually doesn't show the full identity or the full addresses of people, is not doxing. It's never been doxing. A big part of this broadcast is revolves around going on Open Secrets, which is the website that Bad Empanada was using. Okay. Ironically enough, these guys aren't even mad at Bad Empanada for making the video, but more so mad at me, which for not only responding to the video, but also.
So would he be okay with it then if people just did the opposite and then made a list of like all of the left wing commenters, like Hasan is an entire squad, and then like somebody made a video of that, put it up on YouTube, and then somebody reacted to it and just like left it unredacted? Would he be okay with that then?
Adding additional information about this organization that I knew about. Now, of course, that probably allows you to understand that this is not really a sincere fear that people have about doxing or whatever, but instead it's just to use as an opportunity to farm some drama and clout.
So Hasan looks at his own actions here, and instead of taking accountability, he is trying to downplay everything.
You know, like, I wonder if that's what it takes to change things. Is you just have to like literally play the same game as them and then see how they like it. I wonder if that's the only way.
That he did, trying to say that what he did not
You
break
do like literally, you take the exact same thing that they do, you flip it, and you see how they feel about it.
any sort of law or even rule on Twitch. Well, it turns out people have a bit of a disagreement on that stance, including people like Legal Mindset, an actual attorney. Turns out he doesn't think Hasan is right with his description of the situation. In fact, he quoted one of the related clips saying,
you know, like what if you went to a school and you were like, we're gonna make a white male only space, only white men allowed, because you know, like should have their own space. What if you did that? What if you had like straight pride parades, straight Pride Month? We should just do that. We should just do like exactly the same thing that they're doing, but just change the topic, see how they feel about it.
Twitch openly allowing what appears to be a prima facie criminal electronic harassment and cyber stalking is truly.
Aren't they building a white only town? Yeah, there was a group that did that. There's a group that is there. They live in the woods somewhere, and they basically made it so that you have to prove that you're white in order to get in.
Wild, citing these various
And they also have like no gays allowed as well.
California penal codes. And he would actually cover this in a recent video and make his stance on the Twitch TOS and also the law very clear. It doesn't look good for Hasan, but then again, is anything going to ever happen to this guy? I don't really know. At least with Twitch, it should be so obvious, but let's watch the clip real quick.
With electronic harassment, it doesn't in this statute anywhere say that the information has to be quote unquote private or secret or confidential. No, even public information that contains that identifiable information, the name, the address, the state, the city, all that stuff where someone could come and find them and harass them and would incentivize people. And we know there are unhinged people. We see it every day, particularly in the United States, guys. We see it all the time. The other statute is number 646.9. This is a California Penal Code, and this is when any person willfully, maliciously, or repeatedly follows or willfully, maliciously harasses another person and who makes a credible threat with intent to place that person in reasonable fear or the safety of their family, and that's once again punishable by the same penalty. So to harass, once again, means to seriously alarm, annoy, torment, or terrorize, right, through your conduct. Okay, and it can be electronic. So credible threat means
The way I feel about it is if people like Hasan and like other woke people, if they're so confident that they're right, if they're so confident in their ideas and they believe that their ideas are the best, then why not just PvP it out over debate? Like if you're so right and it's so obvious that you're right, then why not just talk it out with somebody? Why do you have to resort to tactics like this where you're physically threatening people?
verbal or written, including performed through the use of an electronic communication device. So when you're using the internet, that counts. That's enough, right? And what is this intending to do? Well, it's intending to alarm, annoy, torment, terrorize those people. There's no legit purpose for this. And you don't need to prove under these statutes, a cyber stalking statute, or rather the
Piker sucks at debates. I suck at debates too, but I give my ideas like out in the public and people can disagree with me or agree with me. I don't like try to make it about like, oh, we should hurt other people.
Statute that has a cyber element. It does not require you to prove that they're actually harmed, just that you are causing them fear. And I think, once again, a reasonable person would be in fear after hearing.
Lone Star Armory says you get better by practice debating. It's a learned skill. Yeah, I'm trying to get better at it. Like I'm trying to like I don't really talk about this, but I'm like actually like actively training to be better at it because I'm not good at talking. Like to be honest, I'm very bad at talking. But I am like kind of taking some let's just say some I'm taking some discussion PvP classes, let's just say online, and the teacher is the goat, by the way.
This under California law.
So like I said earlier, even if you push aside the legal concerns and the Twitch TOS, you just look at this for what it's worth. It's a horrible thing to do. Anyone with a functioning brain would understand that showing 30,000 of their rabid viewers the personal information of people
The teacher is Andrew Wilson.
they don't like could lead to bad results in real life. Anyone with a functioning brain can understand putting 1 and 1 together in this situation. Again, either he did this knowingly, trying to put these people at risk out of pettiness and a quest for vengeance, or he did this recklessly, and he should have known better and should be held responsible.
He has like an online course on debating, and like I'm not really good at it, so I was just like, well, I might as well take the class from the best, right?
Regardless. And it's
For
just
PvP.
crazy. We know nothing's going to happen to him on Twitch. It's not even a thought anymore. It's not even surprising. It's like, oh,
I feel like it's important for my job. That's why. I don't know. I'm not even really looking to PvP people, but it's just like, just in case it happens.
got away with it again. It's like, no, we know he's getting away with it again, but we're going to talk about it nevertheless. But yeah, that was not very good. And there's another component to this, another person who was mentioned during all this related controversy, Hutch, who said he's contemplating talking to a defamation lawyer, which, I mean, yeah, he's just another person that Hasan has been going after and saying very disparaging things about for a very long time. It's not too surprising. But there is more to this. Legal Mindset says if it's not him, well, who else should it be? Because this is pretty egregious. But also, the heart of the matter here, like we're not even like talking about why this was shown in the first place. Well, it has to do with this progressive victory pack. And part of the reason they feel justified sharing all this stuff is because they believe they're doing Zionist propaganda. Now, of course, the irony of this would be pointed out by people like Hutch. Frogan has worked with Progressive Victory, the friend of Hasan, but that doesn't seem to really have much of an impact here because, well, they don't really care. And this sort of thing, it's not surprising again. You know, we think about other people who Hasan is friends with, like Denims, right? She has an OnlyFans. The OnlyFans CEO has pledged 11 million to an Israel APAC, right? Like, if this happened in a similar circumstance to any of the people they dislike, they'd be calling them genocide supporters and other terrible stuff and trying to rally their audiences against them. But because they're friends with someone like that, they just ignore it. This whole thing is just crazy. Another round of insane drama. And, you know, I get comments sometimes from people saying, like, oh, you make a lot of videos about Hasan.
Did Hasan wasn't Hasan supposed to date someone? Was he supposed to debate like Charlie or something? And it was like a big event. Is that this month? That didn't happen yet, right? Not yet. It didn't happen yet, right? I want to watch it. I want to watch it.
It's because you disagree with his politics. I don't think we've ever talked about actual like political issues ever, or any of his stances on anything. This is because of his crazy actions, his completely blatant disregard for TOS, for the law in many cases. If he was anyone else, he would get the same coverage. It just happens to be Hasan every time who's doing this crazy stuff. He seems to be one of the few who can actually get away with the stuff, and he's doing it on a nearly daily basis at this point. But anyways, that's going to do for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Another good Rev video. Man, dude, I feel like I've been absolutely camping Rev because he just has the best videos right now. Because I try to look up different videos on the topics I'm looking at, and usually my my editors like try to get me the best one.